This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Omega Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Circuit Barrakill, Remy Asalia, Arcadia Lunashine, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstadter, Nat Clay, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mikta Rapentau, Sapa Chakwatol, Edwin, Umbral Wind, Quick Levin, Pamela Isley, Camille Grinnell, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira Miri, Bay Barbalay, Suno Chicano, Celestao Notrell, Lazy Boy, Abaga Dragonite, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Stormarrow, Tex, Yowie Wowie, Kai Lin, AJ Brainswordson, Anathus Moonscar, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, and Cypup. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 280. I am Lukiel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mela, and Mela Vanadar. Sorry, we're three-man today. Wow, we made it. We are only three today.
Yeah.
So we'll carry the ship, as they say, without Rollo. Today's main story, patch 6.01. Heavensturn and things. Stay tuned for the post show. We have the biggest, longest questions from the syndicate segment in Speakers history, I think. Buckle up for that. So we'll read that. Also MogMail. Sorry, I'm all over the place. MogMail. speakersxiv.com/MogMail. We'll read some MogMail as well. Let's jump into recent events. Woo! I fixed it. We should start with a review of Starlight 2021. It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
It is over. And now we're in this weird, like, no, we're going to talk about it in a bit, but where there's like nothing for 5 days, which is weird. But we'll get to that.
Apparently the decorations for the next event are already up.
Yes,
it
they
just
are.
doesn't begin for a couple more days.
Yeah, it's weird. So let's talk about Starlight 2021. The little Yeti that could. Very cute event. Very cute little minion. That minion already exists in game, does it? Doesn't it?
The wind-up Yeti.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's a wind-up Yeti. The wind-up Yeti looks exactly the same, except it's not wearing the little reindeer outfit.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
this is a special Rudy one.
Okay. Yeah. So the story goes, there's a Yeti. Well, there's two characters in this story. Well, you could argue three. There's three characters. The third one is below us. There's a little Nutkin, a little Yeti, and a big man.
The Saint of Nemea. Not any relation to the Mandeville Gold Sorcerer in any respect.
They have
absolutely not.
They're a striking resemblance, but that's all it is. They are very So Rudy is the Yeti.
Yeah.
And Risai is the Nutkin.
Yeah.
He's an auspice.
Yes. Risai is apparently from that side of the world.
Must be bewildering for people that haven't gotten up to Stormblood.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Auspices aren't mentioned at all until the Four Lords questline.
That's true. Yeah.
Or at least not properly.
Are they not brought up during the Ruby C part of the MSQ?
It might have been, but it's been a long time since I've done it, so I can't remember if they were introduced or if they just sort of... Maybe when you do the Kojin stuff, maybe there's something about them there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty bold of them to bring in an auspice just for Starlight, just to talk to you. But
it's so random.
Yeah, it is. Rudy.
It is because
Yeah.
they made it so Shaggles was the only person who could talk to you
Yeah.
as a troll. So they could have just made it something weird like him.
Yeah.
But they decided no.
Yeah,
let's
that's
make
what I was
Shackles.
thinking. So yeah, Rudy, he apparently was getting made fun of by his siblings for making small snowballs.
Mhm.
So he stumbled all the way down to Gridania, and Amgaranji found him.
Yes.
He helps out with some of the Starlight festivities. You deliver some gifts around, I think, Bent Branch Meadow, and some people are a bit scared of him, but then suddenly think, oh, actually, he's cute.
Mm.
And you're basically helping him gain confidence all the while Risai is just like, look at him getting
Translating.
confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just a translator.
Yeah.
And he eventually stands up to his brothers, and they
Yes,
respect
well, first,
him.
his brothers just walk into Bent Branch Meadows, and obviously people are a bit unsettled by a pair of yetis
Yeah.
Yeah,
traveling this far from the snowy north.
Mm-hmm. I realized when because they are obviously mobs, and I'm always impressed when they pull in mobs that aren't meant to be, in cutscenes like that.
Emoting.
Yeah, they manage to make them emote, but you can tell that when they're like, I think there's something with their eyes. I think it's supposed to be their eyelids, but it kind of stretches their whole eyeball. I guess they only have like one bone in the eye. But I thought it's still very impressive. These are not meant to be in cutscenes like that. So
Maybe
that
they
was
have
pretty good.
elastic eyes. Maybe that's a natural ability of the Yeti to stretch
Yes.
the eyeball membrane.
Yes.
disgusting.
It's just yeah.
It had 2 quests overall. That was the main story, and then the follow-up one was you going around town with the Saint of Nemea,
Which is more similar.
which is very in depth, though.
It is very in depth, but it's kind of
Yes.
like a similar to what you've done in previous Starlight ones. That's sort of the tradition of Starlight.
You get to go to 6 different places, and you can go to a maximum of 3 each time.
Yes.
If you do all 3, you get more options in the final section, where you get the option of seeing him nice and close, among other things.
Yeah.
Don't
One thing
open
that
your
was
eyes.
very funny is if you go to the markets, and he says, "What do you normally buy here?" You can say belts,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh yes, I remember them. They used to hold up trousers.
Yeah.
But we don't need them anymore."
Yes.
It's very
Advancements in trouser technology.
Yeah.
elastic waists.
Yeah.
I quite like the story.
Yeah.
It was harmless, but it was nice.
It was relatively long overall. It took me like more than an hour to clear it all completely, to like see everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the last that second one. And then even if you do both runs of the 3 different ones, there's like 2 or 3 options for the final section as well. So there's a decent chunk of content if you want to get it all.
One of my favorite things though is how every time an event doesn't have glamour or a mount, people are, oh, it's the worst event rewards ever.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't get that.
No.
I mean,
No, I don't either.
sometimes the mounts are like a bit rubbish anyway, and sometimes you get like a super cool, unique minion or a really nice housing item. It's just people who don't have houses, Georgi.
Yeah.
Probably.
Ooh.
Oh, did they go crispy?
Yeah. So, ooh.
Okay.
Good, crispy.
That's me.
Yeah, Georgi's having is very hot over there, and I guess his computer is dying as a result. Yes. I don't mind the rewards. I mean, we get 2 minions. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're quite.
It's
cute.
a free. It's like a Shaggles if you don't have him yet.
Yeah.
Shaggles is quite difficult to obtain.
I know.
That's true.
He's a non-tradable minion that drops in the Ideoscope.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna have to run that a few times.
Yep. Okay, so that is the Starlight 2021 review. We can leave. We can leave 2021 in the past, in the dust. It's time to talk about Yoshi-P's New Year's message, which was posted on the Lodestone, I believe yesterday or the day before. It was yesterday.
Recent.
Very recent.
The translation
English
in English was
translation,
very
yeah.
recent.
Yeah. Yes, it also has this little art attached. Here is the message.
Auspices.
auspices, yes,
Mhm.
it's true. Happy New Year to all of you Final Fantasy 14ers or FFXIVers out there. This is producer and director Naoki Yoshida. Though we regrettably had to delay Endwalker by 2 weeks right before it was originally slated for release, it was on December 7th that the expansion finally went out into the world, a conclusion to the saga of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, which began all the way back in 1.0. It's now been a full 11 years since I came aboard 14, and I feel that I've put everything I have into this expansion. I'm certainly curious to know what sort of an impression it's left with you. Setting aside
Relevant was Zodiark in 1.0, sorry.
there was no Zodiark in 1.0. That's
No.
Okay.
that,
See,
yeah.
that's what confused me about what he just said.
Yeah. Well,
But Hydaelyn was a thing,
Hydaelyn
wasn't
was
she?
a thing, and it was a
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah,
a
but-
mystery.
Mm.
It was all expanded on. It's okay.
I might actually. I don't want to say for certain that Zodiark wasn't in there, but the Asians were certainly there.
Yes.
If you uncovered Zodiark's crypt in 1.0 Lukia, that would be a big reveal. Wow. That's going to be a good episode.
I'm going to retract my previous statement because I'm not 100% sure that Zodiark wasn't mentioned.
Okay.
He wasn't a big plot point. If mentioned, it was only passing.
Yes.
In passing.
If you don't remember him, he was not very irrelevant.
No. Okay. Let's see. So yes, setting aside game content, the large influx of players around the world since mid-year and the impact of COVID-19 on the supply of server equipment have led to extremely long login queues. And I'd like to sincerely apologize again. We're currently working to fundamentally address the situation, such as adding logical data centers and increasing the number of worlds in all regions, and we ask for your patience in the meantime. Now then, as its title suggests, Endwalker winds up the tale that has been woven since 1.0. However, Final Fantasy XIV itself is far from over, and we've already begun creating new journeys for all you Warriors of Light, or adventurers, rather, to embark upon. As a matter of fact, just as I was thinking about the next adventure, I noticed that a piece of paper had been left on my desk, and what should be written on it but another poem. So wanes the moon before the sun. Its journey ended home at last. So look we now to days ahead, unfettered from our trying past. Cursive.
Yeah.
Nice.
Saying we've
font.
cast off the shackles of 1.0.
Yeah, we're finally free to pursue our own dreams.
Yeah. From the Memoirs of a Reconciled Man. Having welcomed the dawn of rebirth, taking to azure skies, liberated a land stained crimson, restored darkness to a light-flooded world, and now standing with the waning moon at their backs, our adventurers set their sights on a new beginning. Well, that's my take on the words, anyway. Final Fantasy XIV has surpassed 10 years of operation, a goal that all MMORPGs should aspire towards, and now we set our sights on 10 more. The first steps in this new leg of our journey is patch 6.1, ahead of which we'll take the opportunity to share our plans for Final Fantasy XIV's future. Please look forward to it. It's crazy to think that 2022 marks my 12th year as the helm of at the helm of Final Fantasy XIV. Sometimes I can't help but be amazed that I haven't gotten bored with it. But then there's so much more I want to achieve with Final Fantasy XIV. As I've previously said, I consider it my life's work, and I hope to continue developing and growing the game with you all. Endwalker is the culmination of everything we've built up over 11 years, and I'm well aware that it will be extremely difficult to surpass. But just like your adventures and the efforts of the development and operations teams, we'll continue to build on our wealth of tales, experiences, and emotions, and endeavor to reach new heights. Again, I wish you a happy new year, and thank you for your continued support. Naoki Yoshida.
I wonder at what point he became completely sort of inflamed with this game. Like, at what point did he decide this is my life's work? It wouldn't have been immediately.
After the success of Heavensturn?
Yeah, that probably is a good sort of ballpark.
Possibly.
Yeah, when they realized that it wasn't going to be the grand finale of this game.
Yeah.
I like that we're adventurers again. Perhaps that's pretty much been my dream for a long time now. Let's just go back to being normal people for a bit.
How much do the Mericidians or the New Worlders know about us?
Exactly. We can be unnamed.
They might not even know that the world was going to end.
True.
That's
True.
That's such a big true.
Yeah.
Did the Charlayans even once consider maybe we should go to the New World and rescue them as well?
Yeah.
Nah, it's just a silly place.
Yeah.
Just the people from Thavner and us.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go on.
How do you think the artists feel when they have to draw pictures of Yoshi-P?
Oh, I reckon he takes it on the chin no matter what they do.
Yeah.
It's probably a bit
Yeah,
weird,
I
but
imagine he doesn't care, or at least he's like, at most like it's
a bit
cool,
of
but like
pressure,
he doesn't.
I think, to like draw your boss.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I really like that piece of art.
It's very nice.
I like the bomb sun.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, well, speaking of the new year, Heavensturn is almost upon us, but oddly enough, it's not upon us yet. By the time you watch this on YouTube, it might be either today or tomorrow for you if you're watching it on YouTube. It's January 5th, 8 a.m. This is GMT, 8 a.m. to 2:59 p.m. on January 19th.
Don't be a minute late.
Don't be a minute late. Don't miss Heavensturn. Not much to say about the event. You get a horrible mask as usual.
I quite like this year's one, relatively speaking.
If it didn't have the moustache.
Yeah.
These hats, I mean, they're nice. They're nice collectibles, but I'm never gonna wear it. I'm never gonna wear them.
The housing item is cool.
The housing item is beautiful.
The housing item is all right. I like when they give us more than just the hat. The housing item is just a big like Byakko thing,
like a scroll thing, or like a screen.
It's like a screen, yeah.
Yeah, screen. A partition.
There you go.
Why did they make the masks like that? Actually, I didn't notice the beard and moustache before.
They always have to make them ugly.
I'm pointing that out.
They always, yeah.
They can't be truly nice and usable, mate.
No. No.
And who would make a perfect nose in their armor? To slip your nose in.
I mean, I can tell you one thing. That Lalafell's nose does not fit in that mask.
That's true. But the other person's probably does. Is that a Mikote, I think? Can't really tell.
Oh, I can't tell. A properly human-sized race.
Yeah.
Even with them, they're better than the bull, and like the Chocobo one was stupid.
Oh yeah.
Chocobo one.
Yeah.
It was a funny year though.
It's kind of like
the year of the cock.
Character, like it's like relevant to our series.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I hope Byakko gets some sort of appearance in this if you've done the like Four Lords event, because like I can't really just have him appear because otherwise that would be unexplained to people that haven't done the Four Lords. So it would have to be like one of those things where it's like, have you done this much? Well, maybe he'll appear.
Yeah, I would like to see him.
Yeah. Okay.
We left on fairly good terms, I think.
I think Byakko is the one that likes us the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. He seems to be salivating in the picture, which is a bit odd.
He does.
Yeah. It also mentions that following the postponement of Endwalker's release date, the Heavensturn seasonal event will begin on Wednesday, January 5th, a day after the release of patch 6.05. Prior to this, Heavensturn decorations will appear starting on Friday the 31st of December. It's interesting because I'm sure, I think I know how it works, because it just reaches a certain date and the server is just set up to put up decorations at certain times, and they couldn't turn that off. But it's weird that it is delayed. Do you know what I mean? Like by 5 days? Like what is that? Isn't that?
It is weird.
I don't know. It's that is odd to me. But whatever. January 5th.
Do you like how there's a little teaser for next year's Heavensturn in this event picture?
Why? What year's next year?
Oh, I see a bunny.
The rabbit.
Yeah, I see a rabbit.
Is it the rabbit
next year?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yep.
The worst thing is, after however many zodiac animals there are, what will they'll have
Zodiac
to
animals.
Zodiac. They'll have to refresh them. They'll have to just bring back the old ones, which they're selling on the store now, or make new ones.
Well, hopefully they'll make some sort of new hideous glamour item that no one will want to wear.
Yeah.
We can now get like 15 years of outfits instead of helmets.
Well, we could get other things. Like, we could get like maybe like shoes or gloves. Yeah, there's
tiger shoes.
Yeah. Okay, that's Heavensturn. Look forward to that on January 5th. In a message, I guess it's a statement that they send in to Famitsu. At the end of each year, game developers usually send in like a statement to Famitsu about their vision for the year, and Yoshi-P has of course sent in his statement. So I will read that now. Keyword for 2022: return to Origins.
Final Fantasy Origins. That's Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 1.
That would be great.
But imagine Final Fantasy Origins 14, The Unsundered World.
Yes. I hope Return to Origins means that we're gonna focus more on. I mean, we're gonna focus more on like or Eorzean lore. Maybe we'll go back to like
just adventuring.
I feel. Don't look here. I suspect that's what the 6.x patch line will be, setting us up to go somewhere else in 7.0. But now is the time to focus on Eorzea.
Yeah. I like them. I miss, like, do you remember when we first met Edda's party and it was like, oh, hey, another adventuring group? I miss that sort of just being an adventurer. Yeah. That's what I want to get back.
Yeah. Did you, just as a side note, you mentioned adventure. Did you see that someone logged into their legacy account for the first time since 1.0 and they had no class and they were level 1 adventurer? Which is level 0? Was it level 0?
It was level 0.
Level 0 adventurer.
I liked that. And they were stuck as well because they couldn't get the boat to Uldar or something. They were in Limsa and couldn't get to Uldar for their class. Yeah. Or something like that.
Unfortunately, they did equip a weapon at some point. I would never. I would make a new character and just have that forever.
That's true.
Just walk around. You'd be a celebrity in Limsa.
You're probably one of the only people in the world with that. And they've ruined it.
I wonder what happened, and I also like the idea that it's probably like a failsafe or something. Like if something fucks up, it just defaults to that. Or maybe that's. I wonder if that's maybe what NPCs are. If that's their like class, it must be something since it's like even showing on the EXP bar. The text exists on the EXP bar. It's very odd. But anyways, yes, back to this. That was a keyword for 2022 was return to Origins. Aspirations for 2022. So he's listing for both 14 and 16. 14, a new story, a new adventure begins. Kind of vague, but I mean, it's a new story, which is nice.
It looks like he was in a bit of a rush when he was writing.
Yeah, yes, well, he is.
Considering the Scions are spread to the winds at this moment, who do you think we will go to first in 6.1?
That's a really good question.
Graha
Tataru.
Tataru in Moderna will help her first. Graha and
Probably.
Tataru are at the Beldessian Arsenal. Thancred and Riange are at Tormazine. Estinian is at Rasenhands. Alizé and Alphino are in Garlemald, and Y'shtola is with Matoya.
Only on a stopgap though. She's just picking up a book.
Well, yeah, but they might,
I don't know because we finished in the Rising Stones. I just feel like for some reason the game will force us to start again in the Rising Stones. So Tataru will be the only person there.
Tataru's going to dispatch us to wherever we're going, I think.
Yeah.
But I kind of want. I feel like the Garlemald thing is the most pressing issue right now. Because,
but that means it's going to be one of those political Brian democracy.
And that's traditionally what every 6.1 patch has been.
0.1 patches.
Yeah, 0.1. Yeah,
I hate them.
Yeah, that's Yeah,
Not this again.
this
And,
this
and
time
I
I will
mean-
say it's a little different though, because I mean we cannot recover that government. That we can't establish anything.
Hey,
there.
their government building still exists.
The
It was
Senate
not
still
touched
stands.
by
Oh,
the
that's
true.
Civil War.
That's true.
And also, starting with Alpha Nona, as they make sense as well.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, yeah, and I wouldn't mind that. It's an interesting situation over there. So
I would feel happier if we were dispatched to like Mother Mune or like a someone in a
I would
city
love
state
that.
or
I would love to have
someone outside of the Scions.
That's kind of my dream, is to like have a quest line with the Adventurers Guild again,
Mhm,
and have
of
like,
your
the
city.
Yeah, and have the members be like voiced, and like if I feel like it's a real like quest again. Because nowadays when we see them, they're always like cameos or like we don't really work with them
Yeah.
anymore, even though we're technically still members of the Adventurers Guild. So
Yeah. Remember when you had to register and put your name? They said that's a silly name.
yeah. And that's again another like sort of leftover from 1.0, because that was in 1.0 you were supposed to be like this adventurer type, and that was the whole idea. Well, in A Realm Reborn we kind of went beyond that quite a bit. We became the Warrior of Light. So it's weird for like someone of our rank to just be doing Adventurers Guild missions. But I don't mind.
Yes.
I want to do that again. I don't. I mean, you can make them interesting. They can spiral into some like epic shit. Maybe uncover Gelmora. Maybe something like
Hey,
that. Mother
Gelmora,
Mun.
We know what Gelmora is, Lucia. It's a terrible maze of ever-shifting runes.
Yeah, it's true.
What if something eldritch has been lurking in Gelmora for hundreds of years now, and we have to go and
I just want
delve
there to
deep?
be like for instance, we've never seen the Gelmoran like capital, quote unquote. Like we haven't seen their like main like
Gelmorasburg.
yeah, Gelmorasburg. We haven't seen Gelmorasburg. We haven't seen like their government bodies. We haven't seen we haven't seen a single Gelmoran shop. Where did they get
have,
their food?
Like a flag or a
Yes.
symbol or something?
That's the one that
I mean,
Gridania based their flag on.
Isn't the
they still-
isn't the Muntoy Cellars like an example of former Gelmoran like housing and location?
Well, Palace of the Dead is the residential district.
Yes.
But Muntai is, I guess Muntai as well. The original Muntai, where you actually could see inside, would also have some
Yeah, where they
spaces
kept
in
the
there.
beans.
Yeah, the
The beanery.
yes, the beanery. They also made wine. So there you go.
Out of beans?
It's a good question. I don't know what they made it out of, because you can't
Montoy
grow...
wine. That sounds nice.
Bean wine. Mm.
Bean wine.
Okay. Also, did you know that in 1.0 the wine port didn't actually grow? There were no beans. There were no grapes in wine port.
Nope. I know. I remember this Remnants of a
yeah,
Realm episode.
Yeah, it's odd because I believe there are vineyards in the Roost in 1.0, but not in Wineport.
They were an aspiring port.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think someone somewhere tried to explain that there was something in the soil that they could extract and make wine out of. I'm like, oh, spare me.
Ground wine.
Spare me that. All right. Potato wine. Yeah.
That's vodka.
That's just vodka. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Anyways, we'll see where we go. For 16, it's time to polish the game so that we can stick to our original concepts. Do you want to just quickly mention the state of 16? What is happening with this game?
We got news about it in 2021.
Yeah. It was this.
I think it's been slightly delayed, basically, as a game.
Yeah, without saying
he
it.
admitted as much.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's been smart because he's never really said, he's never given us a ballpark, but he's also given us the impression that it's further along than we thought. So
he has said that, but he said the next time you see it, it will be close to when it's out.
Yeah.
And he's not shown us anything, so he's sticking to that.
That's true. He isn't building hype yet, which I guess is a
No.
good tactic because no one's going to be too upset.
Look forward to news in April, I believe, is when he said there would be
Yeah.
more news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look forward to the £250 collector's edition.
Yeah. Recent updates. Yoshi-P says, let me take a break for the beginning of the year. Laughs. However, I'll go full throttle in spring.
Go snowboarding.
That's fine.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
needs.
go snowboarding.
Yeah, he needs some. He needs a break. Points of interest for 2022. I wonder what's going to happen in Matrix Resurrection. He made this comment before the movie was released. I find myself rewatching the Matrix trilogy every year, so I'm both excited and also scared for what's to come.
I like that. Like, it's cool that he likes the Matrix so much and watches it yearly. It's nice to have like a yearly thing you enjoy.
Yeah.
As two people that I imagine know far more about the Matrix than I do, have you ever observed any influences in 14 from the Matrix?
No.
No, I guess you could.
Oh, no,
like,
actually,
Omega
no.
plays
Yes,
with
there
the
is
idea
one.
a little, but
There is one Matrix reference in 14 that you might not have picked up on, Yogi, but if you look closely at Alphino and Alizé's colour schemes, they're the same as Morpheus's pills.
That's true. That's
and you
true.
notice how Alphino is like stuck in his little secret, oh, this is how the world should work, whereas Alizé is more about the real world.
Yeah.
It kind of works out, actually.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take your word for it.
I don't think there's any overt references to the Matrix because I don't think it would fit in 14, right? As it is right now. Though again, I think the closest you'll get is like Omega stuff. Maybe there's something in there, but I haven't really noticed any. All right.
Maybe we'll get the twins as an enemy.
Sure. That would be. I just want like. What if we get a Matrix crossover in 14?
That would be pretty well.
It's like Neo.
I feel like
walking
Nier
around.
is closer to the Matrix than this
True.
series.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on. China had FanFest. There was a Chinese FanFest. Was
Wow.
that physical or was it all digital?
Have to imagine it was digital.
Yeah, same.
They're not sending Yoshi-P to China.
No. So during this, who's the Q&A with? That's the only question I have for this before we go on.
It was with both Yoshi-P and Oda, but it's not clear who's answering each of these questions.
Right. So there's a full Q&A, obviously, but we've picked questions that are not shit. So these are well,
Nick, given the first.
yeah. Well, okay. Why aren't there any toilets in game is the first question. So that's where that's the bar. The short answer is they are hard to design. Where is the drain leading? Where is the water coming from? How do we handle toilet paper? What about Lalafels?
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, Lalafels are small; they'll fall into the bowl. Like, what is the size of an Eorzean toilet?
Yeah, they have a potty next to the toilet. All of the toilets in this country.
Yeah, maybe they'll have like, maybe they'd have to have like two types of toilet, like one.
I mean,
or a
with
Rogadin.
Rogadins, you've got to worry about the
So
plumbing.
3. So yeah.
It's like
Oh, you
how
think
when
they
you
make
go to
big
some
poop?
public.
This is not for the air. Yes.
It's like how when you go to some public toilets, like you see like regular sized urinals, and then there's one lower down for children.
Yeah. When we start thinking about size, it gets too complicated. It is less about the investment into development, but more about the difficulty of the thought process. Well, that's why we decided pretty much leave that topic untouched. Just for reference, would you guys want to implement them?
No.
One
Please don't.
There's a toilet. There's an outhouse from the last furnishing design competition.
It's true.
Yeah, have an outhouse because then you don't have to design the inside of it.
True. That's true. Yeah. Why do you play a Lalafell? Someone asks Yoshi-P. To be honest, because they are small. They are harder to see when playing PvP. I have played many different games, but when I have the choice, I always pick the smallest race and put them on the smallest height in character creation. I've been using Yoshi Lala for the Walk with Yoshi-P segments, and I am attached to it. I do think Lalafells are cute. When I speak to overseas community, we always get excited talking about how Lalafells are true justice.
It's fair though, right? They are hard. You know, if it's a intense PvP game, the hardest thing to click on is a small target.
That's true. Yeah.
The rest of his comments, I think he just felt like he had to add to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's valid choice for the PvP, and also sometimes when they like move around, like it feels like they're moving faster because they're so small.
Yeah, it's like flying the Whisper mount versus a lunar whale.
Yes, it's the same thing.
I mean, Lalafels jump like 4 times their own height.
Yes, they do.
Exactly.
For the fact that they have to jump the same height as every other race.
Yeah. Next question: why do the Scions have so many white/gray-haired members? Well, some of them. One of them says, difficult question. You're right. There are many characters with those features, and we do have it in mind all the time. In the original version, we already had Thancred and Y'shtola. We hadn't planned on adding Urianger to the Scions at first, but it just turned out that way. Estinian was originally designed to be part of the Dragoon job quests. We hadn't imagined him to play such a huge role during the Heavensward story, and in 6.0, he became part of the Scions. A lot of coincidences. Sometimes we discuss if we should have given some characters a makeover, but the impressions are too strong at this point, and we decided to keep it like this. I personally am not a fan of pure colors, like green, for example, and that's why new characters tend to be a bit simple in this regard. We will try to balance it a little better from now on.
Basic green boys.
Days green is the example.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
It's a good point. A lot of the Scions have grey hair. That's just.
I think they look better though. They all look good.
Yeah.
It's better that they have just fairly nondescript. It's just brown hair, blonde hair, and grey hair.
Yeah. And it doesn't
and then Graha ruining it.
And the fact, that's true. And the fact that we don't.
Kyle has brown hair as well.
Brown hair's fine.
Yeah. There's it's weird because I haven't thought about it before, and you'd probably, considering they all have the same hair color, I probably should have. Like they're all gray haired, but
it's like a nice neutral color.
Yeah. So there you go. They try to balance it a little better from now on. So I expect even Monbrida.
Oh yeah. It's like with like Y'shtola. I'm sure her eyes went grey, didn't they, when she went through the live stream from green to grey?
They were blue.
Oh,
blue to grey.
Oh yeah, blue. Yeah.
So like the fact that her hair, you could have imagined it like draining colour as well.
Yeah.
And same with Thancred. They just fit that anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, for a period of time, they were purging every blonde member of the Scions.
That's true.
True. That's true. Okay. Next question. We want more emotes where players are close to each other. They respond, we get a lot of requests for this. Difficult because of different races and heights. It is pretty much impossible with the current processing power to keep gear, height differences, and everything related in mind, and executing an instant action being the emote. We are looking into more race-specific emotes, for example, a Rogadin taking a Lalafell on their shoulder.
Exciting.
I like to think of it as that's part of the emote rather than the player. It's just like a pocket Lalafell that they take out from the emote.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a fashion accessory.
It'd be fun to, because we mentioned how we already have the Lalafell on shoulder like system in place with Rauban, but we never see him actually lift. Every time it happens, we see him bend down and like to pick her up, and then it often just cuts to her like being on his shoulder. It's probably like I think Mela said, it's gonna be like you just walk up, you right click and mount the person, you fade out, and then you go on top of the shoulder. That is actually not a bad idea, to be able to like ride other like players like shoulders. That'd be very funny, and it's a way to like get people. But yeah, go on.
I can tell you there'll be a lot of memes posted on Twitter of people right-clicking characters and then zooming in on the word mount.
Yes. Oh yes.
That's true.
And there's gonna be like Rogadins riding on the shoulders of Lalafells, and it's gonna be complete mayhem. So
I suspect they're not gonna do that.
That would be fun. Well,
there's going to be a lot of
once that has been
people who are
implemented,
upset.
Georgi, the community finds a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But officially, it will only be for Rogadin.
Officially, yes.
And there's going to be a lot of complaints, probably.
Yeah. Yes.
But
yeah.
there might be an increase in
and then that's going to be the new umbrella question. Like, when can Rogadins mount Lalafels?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Is there news about about Eorzea Encyclopedia Volume 3? The answer is, it's in the works. Oda is working bits by bits here. It will cover patch 5.0 and 6.0.
That's good.
There you go. Confirmation of a third volume.
There you go. It is coming.
So that means it's going to cover not only potentially the entire history of the first, but also the Unsundered World, which, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of content to try and cover in one volume.
Yes. Yes. I wonder what
there's
color
no world history is, but there's very little world history to cover for like Heidelin anymore.
No, that is it's like true.
Well, 5.0. There's Norvrand.
Yeah, well, all of the first.
There's Norvrand and then the Sundered, the Unsundered world.
Herbert and
it'll be much more exploring the other worlds than ours.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a lot of content. I'd have done one like entirely for the first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's one that's entirely for essentially Stormblood. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Volume 2 is weird. They had, but they can expand another lore like Mericidium, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the Q&A from the Chinese Fan Fest. The next part, I guess, is MogMail. We don't really have that ready yet, the overlays for that. So we're just going to read them, but we are going to read MogMail. They're just not going to be on the screen. So let's jump into MogMail. All right, we'll start with MogMail from Seyan Astalder from Genova. Hey speakers, I've been watching since the first Fallen Rise episode, and I'm a 1.0 player myself. This is regarding Endwalker MSQ spoilers, so I'll put that here so it can be filed for a spoiler cast later. This is regarding a few class quest links that I and some friends noticed after completing the story. When I'm not crafting, my main job is dancer, and I always thought that the class story questline was always a little strange and slightly out of place. However, after completing Elpis and moving towards Ultima Thule, I and my friends realized that the Dance of the Dead was actually the effects of Dynamis, and the Totentanz dance was designed to banish the effect of negative emotions from sorrow, fear, and regret as a counter to it. There's also the song that Sanson was initially seeking during the Heavensward Bard quest called The Ballad of Oblivion, which despite what the song the Bard Chaos crew actually found, did. I think this must have been a reference. Wait, sorry. What is this?
No, keep going.
Despite what the song the Bard Chaos crew actually found did, I think this must have been a reference to Meteion and her chosen fate for the universe. We did it. This means at some point, someone leaked just enough information about the actual cause of the final days into our world. Where and when do you suppose this happened, and what other links in class quests might be referencing this now? Off the top of my head, perhaps the Dark Knight quests?
I would probably agree with the Dark Knight quest line. I think the Bard one would very much be a case of like retroactive.
100%.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There was no reference to Meteion then, it's just they've made it fit in.
I can see it more with the Dancer one because it's closer to the creation of Meteion, and also like the Dance of the Dead is truly an absurd concept if you don't have the idea of Dynamis in your mind already.
Yeah, true. We also know that, they don't write the stories this far ahead, and it's certainly not with like Ballad of Oblivion is oh god, what part of the quest is that? That's still A Realm Reborn?
That's Heavensward.
Oh, Heavensward.
That's Heavensward.
Heavensward. That's too early for them to like have thought that up. But yeah, I think Dancer definitely probably could be. I think maybe when they did the Dancer one, they had this like idea of this in their mind, but it hadn't really happened yet.
I think they've had the concept of Dynamis, and I think Drakpos highlighted this in one of his videos, that the concept of Dynamis has been alluded to since at least the Omega storyline in Stormblood.
Yeah, Omega. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because he highlights that we surpass our capabilities further than what our ether would suggest.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah. We learned that Limit Break is Dynamis. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm sure this is, or I don't know. I'm not sure. I wonder if we're gonna like keep developing this in the story going forward. Now that we have this whole new view of the world, like that there's this thing called Dynamis. That might be a plot point in the future, maybe. Or do you think maybe that's done? Do you think this is gonna be one thing? This wasn't like an expansion thing. We're leaving it now. Back to ether, baby.
I think Dynamis is a nice fallback for when they can't explain something.
It's going to be the new Elegance. It's because that's what Elegance used to be. It'd be like, oh, what is this? Elegance. And now it's just going to be Dynamis. Okay.
I suspect the whole concept of Ultima Thule is going to be continued to be touched upon for the rest of the expansion, because the fact that this emotion-based location exists is very perplexing, and that it persists even after Meteon no longer like compels it to be.
Yeah. I was gonna mention Dynamis in 11, but I'm not. I can't talk about. We've talked about Dynamis is like this whole thing in 11 as well. Let's save that for our next podcast. Final Fantasy 11 hour. The Final Fantasy 11th hour.
Not bad. Someone will steal that now in the meantime.
Fuck. Okay. That's
I mean the it's not related to these final days, but I mean the Black Mage quest line is literally just another world-ending calamity for no reason.
Yeah.
That one was always a bit out there.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else.
I can't think of any others that are necessarily related.
Not off the top of my head, but I feel like in the corners of my mind, I can think of examples, but I can't name them.
No. Okay.
They've been expunged. They've been covered in ink.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Sorry, I'm fucking up your name. Seon Astalder. Next, MogMail. It's from Rosa Friendilla. From Diablos. Friendlia. Rosa Friendlia. From Diablos. It's Lady Khan. From Diablos and Ragnarok. Hi, speakers. When I was doing the MSQ, there was one scene that gave me questions. When we left Elpis, we saw Vana/Hydaelyn walking, and suddenly we saw ourselves, dressed as an ancient if you glammed there, walking towards Emmet right before we fought him at 80. Thinking back to right before that fight, we also saw an ancient walking towards him. Could this have been us in that cutscene where we saw Azem's soul in us and we thought we might be Azem, or was it Vana that he saw? Rosa Friendlia. P.S. It was good to see that Reen and Gaia had their festival on the 1st. True.
How dare they have it without us?
That's
thank God, yeah.
That is true. That he does see us as an ancient very briefly before the fight with when he turns into Hades. I suspect he's seeing us as Azem, not Vana.
Yes. Because we were dressed in black robes in that scene.
Yes. That's true.
And now we'll probably always be in white robes within his timeline and memory.
Yeah.
But it's a nice sort of, nod to that scene. It was a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are Azem's soul.
Yeah.
Well, a fraction of it.
We're
we're 1/7.
We're Fan Daniel.
Yeah.
Of Vana.
We are.
Amon, we're the
7/14.
We're 8/14.
Or 8/14. Yeah.
8/14.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Almost, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rosa. Next
We're
is
just gonna
from.
go to a couple more shards, Mailer, and then we can suck them up.
Yes. Next one's from Zorn Thorn. Oh no. From Adamantois.
Great name.
Now that we've had all the revelations from Shadowbringers and Endwalker explain ASEAN, Amaratine ancient society in more detail, it does leave one piece of the puzzle that I feel now sticks out. Who were the minor Asians? Travanshe, Summoner a Realm Reborn questline dude, the skeletal Asians from 1.0, guys as other kills, etc. Are they just normal sundered people granted Asian powers like 11 out of 14 of the major Asians?
Mayor.
What's the distinction between Amon becoming Fandaniel versus the dude that gets to be a minor Asian then? It feels weird. They should seek it feels weird they would seek the rejoining without the ancient connection of the 14. But it also seems weird for an actual ancient soul to be treated so disposably by the others given what we have learned. What do you think was the backstory of the minor Asians to fit in with what we have learned since?
Well, isn't it the case that
Fandaniel's a
everyone that-
minor Asian,
Well, no, he's part of the
No,
convocation of
he's
the
a
14.
convocation, yeah.
but he's not.
He's not a
He's still a sundered though.
Asian.
He's minor enough
Yeah.
within. He's one of the people who just became a soul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The bit
but
of
I
the
think
soul.
this question is more so asking about the Asians that aren't even members of the 14.
Yeah. Well, we call those. Yes, they're referring to the black masks, aren't they?
Because specifically the ones in the Summoner questline are explicitly said to not be members of the 14.
That
They're
is
just
true.
Yeah.
Random people that have been awoken to their Amoratine origins, I guess.
Yeah.
Are they Elidibus boys or Lahabraean boys?
As in who woke them up.
Yeah, they mention
that-
him in the
I
storyline
think it was Lahabrea.
because they change it if you've beaten him already. They're like, even though he's dead, we'll still fight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because weren't like the Lambs of Dalamud slightly related as well?
No, that was
No,
that
those
was
were they
very
just a
much
cult?
retconned after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lambs of Dalamud we don't talk about anymore.
Okay.
No. The Lambs of Dalamud are a remnant of 1.0 that make little sense in 2.0.
That
and
is
onwards.
true.
Yeah.
I think they probably just. I don't know. They're just they don't care about them. I don't think.
No, that is true. Emmett Selk also tried to awaken us to our unsundered self, or
True.
at least join his side. So even though he may not have realized that we were a Zem at that time, he was probably open to awakening us to our former ancient self, whatever that may have been.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, Zorn. Well, I'll tell you two things, Zorn Thorn, that they didn't talk about here. Firstly, they never explained Xenos with his dreams of the star showers.
True.
So, was he a minor Asian? We'll never know.
I suspect Xenos is not done for, and I know that's going to upset a lot of people.
We
left
didn't
him in a
die.
realm.
He's back,
He
guys.
probably didn't die either. I have not.
We left him
Yeah.
in a realm made of pure dynamis. If he learns to control that,
Yeah.
he could
That's
be a very
right.
dangerous threat moving forward.
Yeah.
And he's Shinryu partially right now. He can transform.
I think he utilized all the Shinryu energy. I think he'll need to find another way to get back.
But he will
Poor guy.
find it because that man does not give up. So yeah.
'Cause as you said, Mela, there are questions about Xenos left that are unanswered.
There are. And just to get it on there, even though it's pretty much unrelated, because when we were doing the spoiler cast, I never mentioned it. The sound that came from the ground, I hated that was just suddenly changed to not be from the ground and no explanation.
Yeah.
That was a big plot point, that there was a sound from the earth.
Yeah, I agree.
It turned out to be from the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xenos.
That was a bit.
big point.
It's interesting because we haven't talked about that at all. It's weird because
they are going to explain it in Pandemonium.
It's gonna be. I think they're saving it for the raid, fuck.
That's basically going to say that it was completely unrelated to the final days at this point, even though it was originally related to the final days, or they're on the cusp of the final days.
I honestly think it's supposed to be Meteon, and then like the idea is that her song permeates through the planet, and then it can be heard from within rather than externally. I think they don't want you to think about it.
Yeah, it's one. But that's the point. Is that it's a little bit. It felt like this massive, like scary mystery about something inside the planet making this noise.
Yeah.
And then it was explained away a little. It kind of. It's not like I have to defend myself every time I critique anything in this fucking game. I like the story. Okay, I like the story. I like everything. So ignore. Just think about a disclaimer. But the fact that they sort of planned that, and then they're like, maybe we shouldn't do it like that. Let's do something else instead. We'll just do bird girl, big sad, goes to space and destroys planet through feelings. It's weird. I just thought that was a weird turn, but whatever. Why even plant it like that? Why couldn't they say there was a sound that came from above?
They might not have thought of it that way before.
Exactly, that's my point. Then why did they?
It was such a curveball.
Surely they must have had an idea when they mentioned the sound from the center of the Earth.
Yeah, but then they might have realized it was bad.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, also when we first hear Meteon, it looks like it's coming from the planet itself. That's why many of us thought it was Hydaelyn when we first see what is happening after defeating Zodiac. That might be how it presents itself to everyone.
But not everyone was standing on the moon.
Like, no, I know that, but not everyone. But like, maybe that's how it feels for the people that are less etherically aware of that kind of thing, or dynamically aware of that.
Okay. I don't know. Do you see, that makes it very odd. See, whatever.
I'm just theorizing. I don't think this is a good explanation.
No, whatever. Anyways, Travanchet is also interesting because
You thought he was Fandaniel.
Well, I am not entirely opposed to that still being a theory, because if you look at what he looked like in A Realm Reborn, in 1.0, we even see a picture of in A Realm Reborn. His face is Ellison-like, isn't it? And that's what Travanchet was. Like, they kind of have the same, like, they look fairly similar if you put them side by side. So it could be a different form that he had. He also mentions that he's had many lives after Amon. So I think that might be all that there ever will be about like that link. That's maybe the only like reference from 1.0 players to be like, there's Travanchet. Now leave it the fuck alone. Get over it. Move on. But yeah, I think that's I'm gonna say that might be.
I'm fine with them just leaving it. Just leave it all.
Yeah, Travanchet's storyline.
Let's just move on.
Travanchet's storyline in 1.0 was like nothing anyway. So
yeah, I agree with leaving Travanchet alone. We've still got at least Pandæmonium to deal with.
That's true.
But
exactly, that can be their final bit of Ascian Amoratine lore, and then let's just move on. Is Guy
the only remaining Ascian? There could be some other other Ascians that were awakened that we are unaware of, but
in fairness, there's it's almost guaranteed. Well, I think it is guaranteed that everyone on this planet is, 8/14 of some ancient soul.
That's true.
Well, no, we're one more.
Oh, we're one more.
Yeah, we were one more
because we took our bit.
We're better.
But everyone is like half ancient soul anyway, so
yeah. The skeletal Ascians from 1.0 also. I don't know what that is.
That's just Ascian Prime now. Oh.
Interesting. I need to fix that. Yes. The skeletal. Those are just referred to as just normal Ascians in 1.0, and then in Around Reborn, it reappears as Ascian Prime.
It's in the retcon. It's fine.
It's a weird thing because it seems to be what happens to Ascians when they're fused together, because it happened with Igiom and Lahabrea, and then it happened with Logrith and Metron.
Yes.
Yeah, and Alpha Known Alizé.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's that.
Well,
yeah.
The Lahabrea one was super cool and was like that awesome demon skeleton.
Yeah.
The Logrith one turned into that stupid Artemis thing or whatever it was, the horrible grape boob thing. It was
true.
Eventually, but before they become that, they're still just like...
That is true, actually. No, you're right. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Okay, we need to move on, so we don't have time. But let's jump into the main story. We believe it or not, we have some patch notes to read through. There's not much. We're going to talk about Pandæmonium specifically. But there's some fun fixed issues that we can talk about. Specifically, I mean, we right off the bat, we have to mention that the grapes have been fixed.
No, we can't not talk about it.
No, they became a big meme. I loved. Sometimes this community makes some good memes.
Oh yeah,
and the grape memes were all good, even though they're like all the same. Like the concepts were always the same. Just replace generic crystal with the polygon grapes, or replace all the lilies of a white mage gauge with the grapes. All good. All good. Pondering the grapes.
And still want to see some low poly grapes, just go to Wineport.
Wineport still has them. Ironically, the place that didn't have grapes in 1.0 now is the only place you can enjoy polygon grapes.
Some below 1.0 quality grapes.
Yes, that's right. Now I need to go back to 1.0 and look at what the grapes look like. I wonder if that's a 1.0 import of assets.
How ironic.
That would be
all the assets went to the flower pots.
Okay, so they've also fixed the NPCs sliding around in the wrong elevation. An issue where wherein progressing to certain points in the final quest of the Endwalker main scenario prevented progression in the Chronicles of a New Era quest, Gods of Eld. I love like weird bugs like that.
Who found it?
I don't know. This is why it's important to always report bugs when you find them.
Exactly.
Yes.
An issue wherein Ixal daily quest required the submission of belts.
I love that one.
That one's good. Yeah, just can't finish that one. They have fixed that now. There are, what else is there here? That's I should have remembered where it is, but oh yeah, we have to.
We're viewing the.
Yeah, go on.
We're viewing the credits wherein players were forcibly disconnected due to inactivity.
Oh. That was a funny one.
That was a good one. Also, the
just wiggle the mouse.
Apparently, an NPC. I don't know if it's apparently not in the patch notes, but I think you'll all remember when you did the MSQ in Thavnir, where there's some dead people, and they are they are referred to as horizontal here. That has been renamed now into like unmoving here or something similar.
No, it's not unmoving. That's still kind of funny. It was something like more like, I don't remember the exact term.
It's something less.
She became motionless villager.
There you go, motionless villager. Horizontal here was so funny, but I see why they've renamed it, because it kind of doesn't. It's inappropriate for the situation.
I think that counts under other minor text issues have also been addressed.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's about it. Yeah. So let's talk about Pandæmonium. Released 2 weeks ago now. We'll start with, I guess we'll just talk about the story. We'll deal with that. So spoilers for Pandæmonium. If you haven't done Pandæmonium, you need to click away. It's not a long story. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but
no. There's only one real interesting bit.
Yeah. So the story sort of starts in Labyrinthos. There's this little little lab, little crew, research crew, that are working on what is their field? There's like it's like
Ethereal Sea Inspectors.
yeah, something like that. It's
Yeah.
like ethereal something.
I mean, they're at Aporia, which is where they planned everything with Heidelin and the
Yeah, yeah,
Ragnarok.
yeah. So there's Nemgigi and Claudian. Nemgigi is the Lalafell, and Claudian
Yeah.
is the
It was apparently
eccentric.
waiting for us forever outside the annex.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Claudian.
She claims that we're the only person that has been into the ethereal sea, and all I can think is there are two other people. There's at least one other person directly in the annex that has been
That's
to the
true.
ethereal sea,
Yeah.
and two more people standing outside the Ragnarok that
Yeah.
you could consult as well,
Yeah.
which are a great deal closer than wherever we were.
So Nemgigi, and then there's Claudian, who's the eccentric scientist man. They've found this crystal bit. It was plucked from the ethereal sea, and it's got a very familiar shape. It looks like the soul stones from like the convocation.
Convocation.
But
So
it's green,
yes,
which is a basic color.
yeah. So they're like, oh yeah, you need to go. We've figured out a way to like get to this place. You've been there. You've been to Elpis before, haven't
Well,
you?
yeah.
And we're like,
You've been to the past.
we've been
You're the only
around.
person we know that can still do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we touch the crystal, we get some vague memories telling us that there is some sort of danger in Pandæmonium, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we can't
That's all
just
we
go
get.
back to the past
Mm-hmm.
like by ether, right? We have to go through the portal for a cutscene.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so annoying.
Yeah.
I teleported straight to Elpis. Like, where's the quest? Where on the map is the quest?
Yeah. So yeah, we get there to Elpis, and we meet this little
In a
we
very unorthodox manner. We land on top of him.
yeah, we land on top
Yeah.
of him. And I mean, it's very obvious who it is, I think.
Yeah, it's
the
Themis.
moment you see
I
him,
mean-
it is Elidibus, and but he goes by Themis here.
Be
and
his
he's-
true name.
I would assume
Probably.
that is his true name. Yeah.
Elidibus is the seat.
Yeah. So yeah, we hear his explanation. He's been investigating Pandæmonium, which is this place where they like store
Dangerous concept.
yeah, it's not a prison, but it's a kind of a
They
prison.
can't be. They're never going to be released into the world, but they still hold research value.
Yeah, they're too dangerous to release, so that's why they are sent to Pandæmonium. They are afraid that the chains that are keeping
Themis.
them locked, are
Yes.
eroding.
So totally Themis and his friend detected this from a fair distance.
Yeah.
And they were going to go investigate together, but then then his friend, whoever that may be, said, "No, you can go by yourself.
Yeah.
But I'll send a shooting star or something to go help you."
Yeah. So we need to essentially get down there and help with first of all figuring out what's happening, which is number one. We get down there. It's a really cool area. And
Very
Yeah.
Castlevania.
yes,
Yeah, it's super cool.
very Castlevania, especially at the end. We'll get to that. We arrive. And there's one of these wards are coming out. They're referred to as wards.
Man.
Warders?
Wardens.
Warders. Not wardens.
Wardens.
No, it's not wardens. It annoyed the fuck out of
You
me
sure?
when I did the MSQ. I'm pretty sure it's just warders. Yeah. I wanted to say wardens, but I knew I would be corrected constantly if I said it wrong. Yeah, it is warders.
Well, they're not keeping them; they're guarding against them.
Yeah.
So warder makes sense. I
Yeah.
guess.
So they so one of them is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Protect them all. Well, I'm gonna protect them all.
Yeah.
And then he transforms.
Yeah. He
Very
transforms.
unseemly.
Yeah.
How dare he?
How dare he do that?
It's like running
Yeah.
around roadless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
We fight that
His
man.
name is Eric Tonios.
Yeah, Eric
Let's talk about
Tonius.
the fight. What did you think about the Eric Thonius fight?
Pretty weak start.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to be one of those people who gushes over it just because it's new. Objectively, it's a very easy fight, but it's got
I
some
agree.
nice mechanics. I liked the colored floor and like having to combine that with this like half cleaves. But yeah, he was a very simple introduction
Yeah.
to
Hot,
Operator.
cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
So- We have seen it before. We saw it in Delubrum Reshane.
Yeah.
Yeah, this version slightly different and easier to look at, I guess. But yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
So
a good design though.
he's got good
He's
design.
a cool looking guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so beat him. Very, like we said, not a very challenging fight. He tells us that shit's bad in there, and he also doesn't know
Yeah.
why he did what he did. Like it was something that came over him.
His emotions overtook him.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, but we need to like fix. We need to get this under control.
There's
And
other warders that are still in there,
yes,
but the leader's hopefully protecting them.
yeah, they kind of gush about this
Surely he
leader.
is.
Yeah.
And they mention
Gross.
Abyssos, which is this place that I think we get to.
It's
Is
the
that where
second- It's below us.
it's below us? Yeah.
Hmm.
So we get to Hippocampos is the second
Yes.
boss.
Hippocampus.
Yes, we're
Second
starting to seal the concepts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Hippocampus
We're
was one of
clearing
the
the way
easiest
to-
ones. Eric Thonius could think of it as an example.
Yeah. Hippocampus is a horrible looking boss. It has like it's like
Like a floating head.
the lower jaw and then the upper jaw is floating and it's got also a head. Like it's very disgusting.
It can disconnect the two and then regrow a new head.
Yeah.
Yeah, God.
This
It's
one's
mechanically quite fun.
this one has some interesting
This is
mechanics.
probably my favorite of the tier. I think for the arena mechanics alone, it's so good. Splitting the arena into just those 4 quadrants every now and then
Yeah.
is a really cool mechanic and a really good way of making an interesting arena.
Yeah.
It's very hard. All this tier is super hard for healers, incredibly easy for tanks, like surprisingly, and then it's like fine for DPS.
Okay.
I would say Hippocampus is the most taxing as a healer.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Really good fight. I can't fault this one. I think this one's a really good fight.
Yeah, we steadily move on to the next part. I mean, in between here, there's kind of just fluff and like some lore about like the sections of
Yeah,
That's
they
what it
have
was.
each section has like, I don't know if they were called key warders or something like that. I can't really remember their name, but they're like the head warder,
yeah,
and that's like the leader San who he's looking for.
yeah. So we make it into
Eric
this.
Thonius tells us about how the former key warder was the one that invited him to work at Labyrinthos.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Labyrinthos. Pandemonium,
Sorry, yeah, Pandemonium. Yeah. Yeah, so we make it into this big hall. Looks like Dracula's entrance hall. This is where we sort of learn that this guy is starting to has lost his mind. He as well. But first, of course, we're going to fight the Phoenix. But I want to mention there's a moment where we see the Phoenix fly past a window. And you see through the window, and it's like got window textures on it, like frosted glass. Someone pointed out to me that is actually quite good for this game. I know I always talk about the engine of this game. Sorry, that's just who I am. But that was very impressive in retrospect. I didn't even think about it then. But 14 has always struggled with windows. Just windows in general.
With glass.
Yeah, glass is hard, especially translucent, like you can see through. Yes. Anyways, so Phoenix, he summons the Phoenix for us.
Well, he makes the arena much more friendly for Phoenix as
Yes.
Yeah, he turns the room from being a nice castle into like a burning,
Wasteland.
perfect circle in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So what do you think about Phoenix?
I like the fight itself. I do have to say I was a bit annoyed to be fighting a Phoenix for the 3rd time in this game.
What do you mean, Gyoti? We've only fought Phoenixes up to it now.
Yeah.
This is a Phoenix, mate.
It has some interesting mechanics with the like the spinning or the little when they turn into those disgusting little things with the eye and they, you have to like the cone AoEs all around. I guess that's an interesting concept, but other than that, I don't know. Is an okay.
I
boss.
like that you have that there are the things that do the raid wides, and you have to split 4 ways so that you're all 4 different people with the markers are on top of them. And I think I like how fast the Shiva mechanic is in this. It's quite
oh yes,
a lot.
Yeah. It's kind of like quite a lot of previous fights just combined, but it's not. It's got way too much HP.
That's I agree. We
we
discussed this when we did this last. Is that
it repeats almost like 2 seconds into the fight. Like
it repeats
80% is already repeating.
Well, that's a bit much. I think it's
Not
like
that quickly.
50-ish. Like
It's
it's
really-
around
really
50%.
bad.
You've already seen all the mechanics, which you don't want to notice that it's repeating at like 50%.
That's a pretty badly designed fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that I feel like
repeat that early.
here you see that problem of like having a normal mode because you know that there's gonna be a lot more here in the Savage mode.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So
The third ones are usually the raid breaker, aren't they? So the static breakers, the third one.
yeah.
Well, it's the second one for this tier last time.
Yeah.
This is the only fight that has an ad phase, interestingly.
True. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. So defeating defeating the Phoenix, Hesperos appears, and this is where he
get
drops.
to confront him.
This is where he drops like the biggest bomb that Erectonius' La Habrea's son. Because all the while we've been doing this, we keep talking about La Habrea. I don't know if we mentioned, but La Habrea is sort of leading this. Like he's the head.
Leader of Pandæmonium.
He's the current head warder.
Yeah. And so now he's like, oh yeah, his son, and we're like, oh my god, La Habrea fucks, and like there's a lot of things going through your mind.
Said this. We have no idea as to how ancients make children.
They fuck.
Yeah. Children
I
are
refuse to believe
concepts. They take
they're
them to the
concepts.
bureau.
Oh, they take it to the bureau.
I wish to make a child like this. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I'm going to make Erectonius.
Yeah.
He's going to be slightly defective because he's not as good as me, but that makes me feel better.
Yeah. Okay, so
He's like me, but unambitious.
Yeah.
But yes, also we learn that Erectonius is not only the son of La Habrea, but the former keykeeper, Athena.
Yes.
So that means what La Habrea had like an office romance, and then took over her job.
Yes. Yes.
That might not be looked down upon in the ancient times.
Apparently not.
Standards are different.
Well, yeah.
So anyways, Hesperos is like, I'm gonna fight you, and he turns into Dracula. Well, he kind of looks like Dracula, like from
He just
the
is
beginning.
Dracula. He's actually just Dracula.
Yeah, he's just Dracula. His fight is very interesting in that it's not that fun. I mean, it's fun in normal mode, but you know that Savage is gonna be a lot here. 'Cause
I do really enjoy this fight.
It is,
even
yeah.
on normal.
Yeah, it has some interesting mechanics. I did all of these with Mela the first time, and this fight, when Mela was like, I'm gonna figure this out, because we were like just surviving by luck when he started doing the
brute force.
The floors. But Mela's like, what is this water thing? And Mela kept walking into like the the water thing. And you know how when it does the proximity thing, where you have to like literally be, it's not, the proximity thing is kind of a lie, because you have to be, I feel like there's a hard cut. Like if you're just a little too close, you will get insta killed regardless.
You will. The lightning one's very tough.
And Mela, because Mela was always investigating everything, he never got far enough away, kept dying at that point. That was very funny.
I think the reason they use the proximity marker is because you take damage at any range.
Yeah, right. Yes. It's a fun fight. It's got 4 arenas. 4 squares, and they do different things. And then he'll run away and do
fire.
Yeah.
Stack. You got poison, which is spread.
Yeah.
You have water, which is pushback, and you have lightning, which is get the fuck out of the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only issue I have with this fight is the slightly confusing sort of starting point of some of the mechanics. Just because it's set up in quadrants.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd think the water pushback would come from the center of the water square, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it comes from the center of the arena.
Oh,
yeah.
Once you get that, it's a cool fight. And it has the thing where he rushes to the side with either the sword or the cape.
Yes.
Either a cone or a knockback.
And it doesn't feel too long. It doesn't feel like it's repeating too much.
The last time we did it felt quite long.
That's because we kept dying.
You did die a lot.
We kept dying.
I just wanted to reset.
Yeah.
You made me go through the whole thing.
Yeah, we're going to see this whole thing through. Don't die.
It also has the fun mechanics where you have to do certain mechanics as... Like, a healer can't go into this circle, or a DPS can't go into this circle.
Yes, that's a cool...
Yes. It's an opposite of...
I like how you guys tried to figure this out. This was funny to watch.
I want you to note that Mela always overthinks things. I said, there's a red cross, that means we can't go in there. But Mela's like, no, but the symbols, though, the symbols, they mean... What do they mean? Like, but it's just, don't go there if you're that.
No, but initially, I thought 2 in each one would change it from like tank cross to
cross
tank
to
tick.
tick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good job.
Because you'd filled it up.
It's a good thing no one listened to you, because that would have murdered everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
And it has not only has the circles on the floor, but it has the baloney balls.
The bolas.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Baloney balls as well. Yeah.
It's
an entertaining fight. Yeah.
It's good.
So we beat him.
At this point, he doesn't want to get captured and become a prisoner of war.
He does
so
kill
kills
himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right.
And at this point, like, Famous theorizes, okay, so he probably didn't want to do this. He was probably walked by someone or something in the lower floors. Because at first, Eric's like, did he do this to me? Clearly, he's done this of his free will.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like my emotions were manipulated against me as well.
Yes.
He's not that smart, but he always says, like, this guy was nice. He's a nice guy. He wouldn't do this. And then, actually, he would.
Oh, yeah, so at the end, we just do the whole thing. We talk about all the shit, whatever. And then it's over. Music. Also, do you think he is actually La Habrea?
I like Al La Habrea.
Yeah.
I prefer the theory that he becomes our La Habrea.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think the La Habrea of that time is our La Habrea, and I think this man, who looks very similar to Claudian in the current era, Claudian is the unsunned version of Eric Thonius.
Okay.
That also could be true, because he does look the same. Both, I think, are pretty valid potentials.
He has this crystal on his belt that has La Habrea's seal on it, which...
what if
my theory
the
for
crystal that he got...
Yeah.
The green crystal could be La Habrea's.
Yeah.
Could be Eric's.
Yeah.
If he's not La Habrea. My theory for that symbol on his belt is just that, like, that's the family crest or something.
Okay. I haven't had time. I mean, we're on the first thing. We literally have nothing to go on, but we'll probably have a better theory when we get to the second part of this. All right, music, good.
I've seen some people don't like the music for the first through third fights.
I'll be honest with you, I can't quite remember them.
No. Don't remember any of it.
I think it's quite fun. It's like this weird, like, pseudo-Victorian era music, but like a little bit chaotic at the same time.
I don't remember thinking they were bad. I think they're probably quite good, but I think they're just they're one of those ones that's slightly background while you're doing the fights. The last one was definitely like the real standout.
Yes, the song that plays against Hesperos is the best part of the Tears music.
Yeah, everyone knows a bit of Latin.
I mean, there's no Latin in the actual song. It's just named in Latin.
Yeah.
It's a primal song.
Okay. Well, that's that. Any final thoughts on Pandæmonium? Any?
I think this is a pretty good start. I think I have enjoyed this start more than I enjoyed Eden's start.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think, in fairness, probably enjoyed it more than... Well, at least I think this is going to end up being better than Omega and Eden.
Yeah.
In terms of,
see that.
like, overall...
Omega is hard to topple, I think, but yes, well, actually, no. I think yeah,
No,
you're right.
I didn't think the first tier of Omega was that exciting. I also think that it's definitely better than the first tier of Alexander.
That's also true.
Yeah.
But Alexander did have a nice wrap.
Alexander's
like the
story
storyline
I
in
liked a
Alexander.
lot.
I agree.
So
I
we'll
definitely
see how
Omega
that...
was
Yeah.
pitiful, and
But
Eden was...
Just comparing the stories and the fights, I'm more intrigued at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This could be a good one. We just need to see how the next two end up.
Yes.
I think overall, though, it's a pretty good start, but I maybe am slightly more interested now in the 24-man to see if that storyline will be more exciting. Like the 12 is a bit more interesting than the underground of Elpis.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm looking forward to that. That's yeah. Okay. That's the show.
Savage is out this week.
Savage is out this week. That's
Savage
true.
is
Oh
out
my
this
God, you're
week.
right. Remember to follow this. That's the end of the show. Thanks for watching. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord and chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, link is in the description. Remember to stay tuned for the post show if you're watching live. Send us MogMail, speakersxiv.com/MogMail. We'll see you in the post show. Goodbye.